Hello, Freedom Church, coming to you today with Psalm 15. And I'm excited to share this with you. David wrote this psalm and he starts off in verse 1 saying this: Lord, who may dwell in your sacred tent? Who may live on your holy mountain? Now, he wasn't just a backpacker. David is talking about the tent, the tabernacle that Moses built that contained God's presence. And it was the place where God himself would dwell. Just think about that God who created this entire universe would dwell in one single place. His presence was so intense, so powerful. And David's asking the question, who could possibly be where you are, God? Who could dwell where you dwell? And then David goes on to list through this psalm, and I'll just give you a moment if you want to pause me and read the psalm for yourself, to read through the requirements of the person that could dwell in God's presence. And he goes through these 12 values, these 12 principles in detail. And there's one in there that talks about, in verse 5, it says, who lends money to the poor without interest? That's a Mosaic law. It's a law that was written in the Torah, which was a part of the way that Israelites knew, was a part of the do's and don'ts of how to live. But a lot of the other requirements, they're not about the do's and don'ts. They're about the spirit of the law. They're about the character. They're about the posture. They're about the attitude of our heart. And I think we, as in our humanity, we love do's and don'ts because it means that we can find ways to make loopholes, because we want strict kind of guidelines so we can know how we can navigate around them or use them to direct others. And Jesus would clash with the Pharisees all the time on these do's and don'ts because they were very much to the letter of the law. But Jesus came and he started giving a new understanding to the law, because he said it's not just about the do's and don'ts. It's about the deeper understanding of what this law means. He would teach it doesn't just matter about saying, oh, I haven't murdered anyone, so I've obeyed the commandment, do not murder. He said it's deeper. It's more significant. What this law really means is don't hate anyone in your heart. Don't have bad thoughts about others. And that was a mind-blowing teaching, because they'd followed the instruction. Well, as long as I've ticked that box. And I think that for us, as we read this psalm today, and as we look at the character, not just the law, but the character and the attitude and the thoughts that we should have and are called to have in God, it challenges us. It challenges us to be those that live in line with the calling of the law and the heart of the law, rather than the do's and don'ts, because we love do's and don'ts as humanity. So what things were you trying to tick off today, whether it's relationally, whether it's your time with God this morning? Maybe it's me doing the devotional and just clicking that on today so you can tick it off the list and do it by the law. But get into the spirit and the attitude behind what this is all about. It's about relationship. It's about the way that we think. It's about the way that we talk to others. It's about the way that we encourage today. And I just want to finish with this. In verse 2, it talks about those who are going out and being passionate, in the Passion Translation. That's what it says. And as we go out and be passionate today, I just want to encourage you, stoke that fire. Go and be charged with passion with all that you are in whatever you do. Be blessed today, church.